What's going on, guys? Got another tip for you today. Jerkbait fishing, right? What size, what color, how big of a lip, what type line, everything you need to know about how to catch a bass on a jerkbait.
Freaking 10 pounds, dude.
Josh, you got it!
Some googly eyes.
Oh, I got it. Wow. Wow.
Giant.
So first, let me show you what I've been fishing with today. You know, I've been out here fishing. I have several different types of jerkbaits, and they're all for different situations, right? So here are the 4 that I have rigged up for today, and I've been fishing with these already. So right here, the very first one, that's just a big mega bass. It's a bigger one. That's about as big as I'm gonna go, or this old Smithwick Rogue. That's a hard to find one, by the way. And then here's a smaller little, like a 4-inch mega bass. And then right here, one of my favorite ones is the Guggen Squad Lures Scout. This little jerkbait right here has been working really, really good. I'm actually gonna show you how I fish this thing here in a little bit. We're gonna go out and try to catch a couple big old bass. But those are the 4 jerkbaits that I've got rigged up right now. But let me show you in these 2 boxes here a couple different types of jerkbaits, and I'll give you a quick explanation to hopefully give you a better understanding of what sizes and lips and different things mean, okay? Let's dive right into it. Now you look at these right here, right? I've got it laid out. These are 5 or 6 or 7 of my most favorite ones. And let's start with size, right? This is a little pointer 78 right there. Check that little dude out, right? Little 78 millimeters long, right? And in the jerkbait world, a lot of times that's how they dictate length. In the mega bass right here, this is a 110. This is a 78. This is 110 millimeters. This is 78 millimeters. So you can kind of see the difference. So when you're reading an article about a 78 or an 80 or a 110, that tells you how long the bait is. And that's very important when you're trying to match the hatch. So those are some pretty cool things there. Now, the other thing is colors. I mean, you look at these colors here. I have just kind of a chartreusey, they call that kind of a table rock shad. It's kind of a purple back, little chartreuse, white sides. That works great in kind of stained water, right? This color right here is great in stained water. That's a beautiful little color on your jerkbait. Okay, the other one is the little 78 here. This is a great color for a sunny day, right? Sunny day, that's a great color. I'll tell you another color that's great for a kind of an all around, really. I caught them this morning on this lake, the sun was out, was this Guggen Squad Lures. This is what I don't know what they call it. I call it a little skeleton. It's kind of translucent, but it has that nice skeleton look, chartreuse on the bottom, little purple back. That color right there is kind of like a throw it everywhere color. It's kind of cool. And then, you know, you dive into some of these regular whites like we have here. You know, it's not a bright white, kind of a dull white. I like these on cloudy days. I like these a lot on cloudy days. And I also like these a little bit translucent ones on real sunny days. You have that translucent, works really good on a clear body of water on a sunny day. The next thing you have to decide on is how deep of a jerkbait do you need to buy. Obviously right here with the Scout, it's got a short lip on it. It's gonna run 4 to 6 feet deep. Right here, we've got a Mega Bass 110. It's a +1. It's gonna a lot bigger lip, right? You can see how much bigger that lip is, much bigger. This bait right here is gonna get down 8, 9, 10 foot of water. This bait right here is gonna get 4 to 6, 7 maybe on a long cast. So a lot shallower. Here's what you have to figure out. What depth are the bass in? Because with jerkbaits, bass like to feed up. You don't want this jerkbait down below them and where they're suspended and they have to dive down to hit it. They'd love to feed up when they're suspended or they're out over deep water or, you know, beside a dock or whatever. They like to feed up. So I want to figure out, first of all, what depth are the bass physically in. If they're in 7 foot of water, right? I'm gonna always throw the Scout because it's gonna go 4 to 6 feet. It's gonna come over top of them perfectly, right? If those fish are out in 12 foot of water, then I'm gonna throw a deeper diver crankbait like this +1, and I'm gonna get it down 8, 9, 10 foot of water, which is gonna have those fish come up, especially on bodies of water that have smallmouth bass or even spotted bass. definitely a major rule right there. So that's the number one thing that you have to figure out. Now, a way to get around some of that is play with line size. We'll talk about that in a minute when I go to fish. But typically I'm throwing my jerkbaits on 10-pound line, but there are times, like even today, I'm throwing it on 12 or 15-pound line, depending on where I'm fishing and what I'm trying to accomplish. So that's about it on that. Let's jump up right now and let me show you how I fish a few of these, talk about a couple rods, and see if we can catch a couple fish. You know, typically a jerkbait is used when the fishing gets a little stingy, the fish start suspending, water starts getting cold like it is right now. The fish start getting a little offshore, feeding on bait, getting on bait schools and stuff. And, you know, typically I'm trying to get that bait down to them, so a lot of times it's 10-pound line. But occasionally, like today, we're fishing some shallow flat points and that are starting off in 3 foot of water, going out to 6. So I don't want that jerkbait on 10. I want it on like 12. Plus, there's some pretty big spotted bass in this fishery right here. If I hook a 3 or 4 pound spot, I need to get him to the boat, not let him run me down the river and break me off. So this is one of the few times that I'm gonna throw a jerkbait on this body of water with say 12 or 15-pound line, like I've got it rigged up right here. This is on a 7-foot Pro Series, medium heavy. Again, it's a little bit over your more stiff application, but this is gonna keep that bait, and you're gonna see how I work it. I'm gonna work it real aggressive, this particular spot, and cover a lot of water, and just try to get one of those big fish to bite. Throwing it all the way up to that grass. You see how aggressive I'm jerking this jerk bait, but look where I finish. This is important. So when I jerk it, I point the rod back at the bait. I want to finish pointing back at the bait, because what it's doing is it creates slack. See all that slack in my line? See all that slack? It allows that bait to kind of rest in a different position every time. Instead of finishing back here, you're constantly pulling the bait slowly. And that's not what you want to do. You want to jerk it and finish forward. You really want to finish with the tip going forward. So again, I'm going to make a long cast out with that jerk. This thing throws really good. I'm jerking it down. I'm finishing back at the bait. Back at the bait. Now I'm also using my Panoptics, obviously, to kind of tell me where I think the fish are hanging, what depth they're using, and all that kind of stuff. You can really tell a lot by looking at your Panoptics, saying the fish are 7 foot down or 10 foot down or close to the surface or whatever, and you can adjust your jerk baits. That's why when I'm on a jerk bait lake and that's going to be kind of a dominant pattern, I'm not just going to have the Scout rigged up, right? It's going to be one of 4 or 5 jerk baits that I'm going to have rigged up, from a 78 size up to the 110, shallow, deep, and everything in between. When you're on a jerkbait lake, or it's that time of the year, you need to just keep adjusting. It's not just grab one jerkbait and if they don't bite this particular one, you got to make some adjustments. You see your jerkbait going across. You can see that jerkbait, that's the Scout, it's going to exactly 6 foot deep. It's right at the 6 foot line. That's another advantage to Panoptics, is not only just, you know, trying to locate fish and bait and structure, but you can get a really good understanding of how deep your lures go at a certain retrieve, for a certain fall rate. Oh, there's one, there's one. There we go. Just a little guy. Just a little one. See if he's a spot or a largemouth. Largemouth, look at that. Look at that. Little dude. Oh, he's quivering, he's quivering. Why are you quivering, man? Perfect. See, we're in 10 foot of water. That's pretty cool. Very cool. All right, let's try it again. Let's see. There's a bunch of them. Look at this, right here, right here. That right there. That's fish. That's fish right there. Look at them all. Look at them all. Look how I'm working this. See how I'm finishing back that way? There he is. Another one. They're just little ones right now, but there's a big one out there. We're gonna get a big one. We may have to go to a different spot, so guys, do not go anywhere because they're still biting. I caught them pretty good this morning, and I got a feeling we can run around, hit a few things, and see if we can't catch the giant. All right, let's look right out here and see what we see, okay? See my jerkbait coming? There's my jerkbait coming. Oh, there's one behind it. He's all over it. He's all over it. Look at him chasing it. See him right there coming up on it? Right there, get it, get it. Oh! Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. No, I'm just totally geeking out right now. See it coming, see it coming. There it is, right here on him. There he is, got him. Got him, look at him, John. There you go. That was cool. Is that a spot? Finally a spot? Yay! This little spotted bass. That retrieve that I'm doing is pretty aggressive, right? So I'm gonna show you the retrieve that I would do on a lake the fish are more lethargic or the water temperature is much colder, okay? Let me show you how I would do that. Now, I may not catch one this way, but this is how I'd fish a jerkbait when the water temperature is like in the low 50s, right? Right now it's 60, which is still pretty aggressive. Low 50s, I'm gonna reel my jerkbait down, 1, 2, and just let it sit. Watch my line. Let it sit, let it sit. It's not moving at all. And then let it sit. Just let it chill. A lot of times those fish will come up and look at it. But when it's real cold, the reason pausing it like that's the deal is that the bait fish, the shad, will start dying when that water temperature makes a big nosedive. A lot of those small juvenile shad in the fall will start dying off, and they're kind of lethargic and kind of dead and kind of halfway swimming around, fluttering around. And that jerkbait just sitting there looks like one of those kind of lethargic, dying shad. All right, so enough of that. Let's run down the lake. We're gonna try a little spot, try to find a little place on the map that looks right with the current heading and see if we can catch it. Okay. Nice little point right here. It's getting late in the day. It's a high percentage spot, let me just say that, okay? It's exactly what I'm looking for right now because it's just a small little point facing in the current. Oh, there's one there. That's a good one. Oh yeah. Oh, look at this. Look, 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 look. Oh, that's what we came for. That's what we came for. Look at that one, dude. Wow. Big one. Yep. Right there she is. Look at that. Ooh, that's probably a 3.5 pounder. Check that out. Beautiful, beautiful spotted bass on that little dude right there. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So hopefully these tips will help you catch more fish, and hopefully I explained a little bit about jerkbaits, right? The lips, the colors, the depth, the line, retrieve. A couple of those things that'll help you catch more fish for sure. So thanks for watching. Do me a huge favor. Please share the video out to a lot of people that want to know more about bass fishing. So that's awesome, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Let's let this one go. Okay. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. There you go. All right. Guys, that's another Scott Martin fishing tip for you. How to catch a bass on a jerkbait. We just did it. We'll see you guys. Bam!